Multiple DOA at 8763 Wonderland Avenue. Requesting backup and coroner.
Imagine Hollywood, a place synonymous with glitz, glamour, and dreams. But beneath that shimmering facade, a dark, dangerous current often flows. What if I told you that on a quiet July morning in 1981? The illusion shattered completely when ordinary furniture movers stumbled upon one of the most brutal crime scenes in the city's history. A scene so utterly horrific, so drenched in senseless violence, that even seasoned LAPD detectives, hardened by years on the force, would later confess it surpassed the infamous Manson murders in its sheer depravity. This is the chilling, true story of the Wonderland Murders. The case that would rip open the seedy underbelly of Hollywood, exposing a tangled web of high-stakes drug dealing, the adult film industry, and a level of brutality that would make even the most jaded observer's stomach turn. It was the morning of July 1st, 1981. The sun was just beginning to warm the Hollywood hills when two unsuspecting furniture movers arrived at 8763 Wonderland Avenue. As they approached the seemingly ordinary house, an unsettling sound pierced the morning quiet. Desperate, guttural moaning. Their curiosity quickly turned to horror as they peered inside, discovering a scene of unimaginable carnage. When the LAPD finally arrived, what greeted them was beyond anything they could have prepared for. One veteran detective would later describe it simply as a slaughterhouse. Inside, 4 lives had been extinguished with shocking brutality. Ron Lonius, Billy Deverell, Joy Miller, and Barbara Richardson lay dead, their bodies bearing the horrific marks of blunt force trauma, a savage, relentless attack with heavy objects. Blood, thick and congealed, coated every surface, painting a gruesome tableau of violence. Amidst the horror, a faint sign of life. Susan Lonius, Ron's wife, was found barely clinging to life. She had endured the nightmare for an agonizing 12 hours, her skull fractured, her body battered beyond recognition. Miraculously, she was alive, but her severe injuries had stolen her memory, leaving investigators with a sole survivor who could recall nothing of the massacre. To truly grasp the horror of the Wonderland Murders, we must first introduce you to the key players whose lives tragically converged at that infamous house. The unassuming property at 8763 Wonderland Avenue wasn't just a residence. It was the chaotic, drug-fueled headquarters for the Wonderland gang. At its head was Ron Lonius, a career criminal and significant drug dealer in the valley, his ambition fueled by greed and addiction. His enforcer, the imposing Billy Deverell, served as the gang's muscle. Joy Miller, the house's owner, had allowed her home to devolve into a squalid drug den, a constant hub of illicit activity. And then there was Barbara Richardson, an innocent caught in the crossfire, tragically in the wrong place at the wrong time. But what truly elevates this sordid tale into the realm of Hollywood legend is the involvement of their most infamous associate, John Holmes. Yes, John Holmes. The adult film icon, whose legendary reputation for on-screen prowess was matched only by his off-screen notoriety. Holmes wasn't merely a customer. He was deeply enmeshed in the Wonderland gang's illicit enterprises. He leveraged his unique connections within the adult film industry, using his fame as a shield and his network as a conduit to move significant quantities of drugs, primarily cocaine. Yet beneath the veneer of celebrity, Holmes was battling a crippling, insatiable cocaine addiction. This voracious habit devoured his earnings faster than he could make them, pushing him to increasingly desperate measures and deeper into the criminal underworld. While the Wonderland gang operated on the fringes, a chaotic, small-time outfit, their world intersected with a far more formidable power. Eddie Nash. Nash was the undisputed emperor of Hollywood's dark underbelly, a Palestinian-born nightclub impresario who had meticulously constructed an empire. His legitimate businesses, including iconic venues like the Starwood on the Sunset Strip, served as elaborate fronts for one of Los Angeles' most extensive and ruthless drug operations. Behind the pulsating lights and celebrity clientele, Nash was orchestrating the movement of massive quantities of cocaine and heroin, flooding the city's streets. By 1981, his illicit empire had amassed him millions, granting him unparalleled influence. He boasted a chilling network of corrupt police officers on his payroll, ensuring his operations went largely unchecked, and a cadre of violent enforcers who maintained his iron grip.
Here's where our story takes a deadly turn. On June 29th, 1981, just 2 days before the infamous Wonderland Murders, a fatal mistake was made. Someone decided to rob the notorious Eddie Nash. The audacious robbery unfolded at Nash's Studio City home, an inside job. John Holmes, entangled with Nash and the Wonderland gang through his addiction, allegedly provided crucial intelligence, property layout, security blind spots, and where Nash kept his cash and drugs. The gang didn't just take Nash's valuables. They committed an unforgivable act of defiance. They humiliated him, physically assaulted him, and made it clear they didn't fear his reputation. This wasn't merely a robbery. It was a direct challenge to Nash's authority, a public stripping of his power. In Nash's brutal underworld, you don't rob him and live to boast. Nash built his criminal empire on fear, violence, and respect. Allowing this egregious act to go unpunished would be perceived as unforgivable weakness, unraveling years of cultivated terror. His survival and standing depended on a swift, brutal response. Nash, with his network, quickly identified the culprits. He knew who violated his sanctuary, and they had to pay. Nash was cunning. He understood John Holmes, who facilitated the robbery, was now the key to orchestrating his brutal revenge. Nash wasted no time. He confronted Holmes, delivering a chilling ultimatum. Help him exact vengeance upon the Wonderland gang, or face unimaginable, agonizing consequences himself. Holmes, ravaged by addiction and terrified by Nash's reputation for merciless retribution, had no choice. Knowing what Nash was capable of, Holmes reluctantly agreed to help set up the people he'd been working with, sealing their fate in his own. Shortly before 3 a.m. on July 1st, 1981, the quiet of the Wonderland Avenue house was shattered by the chilling thud of blunt force. Unknown men, armed with hammers and metal pipes, systematically invaded the home, unleashing a horrifying, methodical assault. This was no random act of violent assault. This was no random act of violent assault. This was no random act of violence, no quick robbery, and certainly no professional hit. The sheer brutality, the choice of weapons, and the calculated precision pointed to something far more visceral. Personal rage, a deep-seated vengeance. The attackers moved through the house with chilling familiarity, navigating the darkened rooms with chilling familiarity. This intimate knowledge, investigators would later deduce, was provided by an insider, John Holmes. 4 lives were extinguished in a brutal, agonizing fashion. Amidst the carnage, one miracle. Susan Lonius, brutally attacked and left for dead, she miraculously clung to life. For 12 agonizing hours, she lay amidst the horror, her faint moans eventually reaching the ears of furniture movers who stumbled upon the unspeakable scene. Her survival, a testament to her sheer will, came at a devastating cost, permanent debilitating brain damage. As police processed the gruesome scene, a crucial piece of evidence emerged. John Holmes' handprint, found in one of the blood-soaked bedrooms. Initially, Holmes vehemently denied any presence at the house. But when confronted with the irrefutable physical evidence, his story dramatically shifted. His chilling confession. I was there, but I didn't kill anyone. I was forced to be there. I didn't have a choice.
The implication of coercion cast a dark shadow over the already horrific events.
The aftermath of the Wonderland murders plunged Hollywood into a legal quagmire, a labyrinth almost as complex and murky as the crime itself. John Holmes, despite being found at the scene and implicated by survivors, was charged with the murders. His subsequent 3-week trial was a spectacle, but ultimately, he was acquitted. Eddie Nash, the alleged mastermind, and his bodyguard were also charged. Yet, securing convictions against them proved an uphill battle, fraught with challenges. To this day, the Wonderland murders officially remain unsolved, a chilling testament to the elusive nature of truth in the shadows of Hollywood. What are your thoughts on this enduring mystery? Share your theories in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more unsolved cases.